Ooh, that looks tasty. Welcome, folks, to the Hungry Gamers, back with another con best of list. And today we are talking about KublaCon, and this is the first time that I've had the pleasure of attending it, and it's one that I've heard about a lot. It's, I think, the biggest con in California, and it's definitely the largest one that I've been to west of Columbus, Ohio. And I was just really excited to finally go and check it out and just kind of see what it was all about. And I have to say that it was great. It really, really was. There was lots of space, and everywhere that I was, I never felt like I was squished in and crushed and surrounded by tons and tons of people. And that was just fantastic. But the hotel that they were in, it had an atrium, it had levels where you could kind of go up, and it was all this open air space with really, really high ceilings with skylights, you know, natural light in there, and it was just lovely. And it felt very, very safe. They were very clear about the expectations as far as vaccines and masks, and we know that that's very important to me, and it was just handled really, really well. And I don't think I saw ever somebody walking around with no mask on for more than, just a moment as they're, taking a sip of something or whatever. So just really, really great. They had a fantastic flea market that I got to kind of jump in on. My buddies from Dead Alive Games, they had a table. I jumped in and was able to sell a bunch of stuff for, really, really cheap. But boy, we got in there. That thing opened at 11 and it was just packed. I mean, 11 at night, and it went to almost 1 a.m. before I sold my last thing and I took off. But just really, really cool. It's a fantastic con. I'm really looking forward to going back there again. So if you're in California, or actually people were coming all the way, Fight in the Box Games came out. They're all the way up from Minnesota, so people were just showing up from all over the place. Anyhow, not the point. You want to know what the top games for me were from KublaCon. And I'm going to start with my two honorable mentions. And these are honorable mentions because I did not actually play them at the con, but they are the only two games that people came up to me and said, "Hey, have you played this one?" One of them, the first one, for a little while, I swear it's the only game I heard people talking about, and that is the upcoming from Cardboard Alchemy game, Andromeda's Edge. And so just want to shout that one out. You can actually go to the reminder page on GameFound right now. People are excited about it. People are getting all frothy about it, and it's just something that keep an eye on. Now, I've played it several times before. I haven't played the latest version, and it is a fun one. It is brain burny, it is crunchy, and it's all that kind of Euro goodness that you might be looking for in a game. And then the other one that gets the honorable mention is Backyard Chickens from Original Don, as I call him. And he's a buddy. Actually, my copy just arrived today, but he was there with a few copies. And he had told me that he was, teaching some people every now and then. He's kind of had it out there. But later in the convention, I think it was on a Sunday, I was there and just kind of hanging out, playing a game. And someone actually came up to me who recognized me, which is weird, right? Like, I'm not important enough to be recognized. But they recognized me and we're just chatting and said, "Oh, have you played Backyard Chickens?" So clearly I'm not that important because they don't have a video on it. But they asked, "Have you played Backyard Chickens yet?" And I was able to say yes, and they were talking about how the designer taught them how to play, and they were able to get it signed by the designer, and just, actually both the designers were there, I should say. And it was just really cool to hear that. So Backyard Chickens gets an honorable mention as far as this one goes. But jumping into the games for me that I played, the top 5 of the con. Number 5 is one that hung out in the Protospiel area for a bit, and that's one, you're going to hear me talk about a lot, but right behind me, Lunar Rush. Again, I am working with Dead Alive Games to kind of get this in front of media, and my brother is the designer, but I got to play it once and demo it 2 or 3 other times for various people, designers and media that were kind of interested in checking it out, and people are digging it. People are digging it, and it's a weird kind of game that as people were playing it, because people aren't jumping up and going, "Woo, yeah," and screaming. But what it does is, as I'm learning, it's starting to kind of live in people's brains, and they're just kind of thinking about it. And I had one designer come back to me later, Johnny Pack, who's a favorite of mine, and he told me, he said, that he's been thinking about that game since he played it, and we played it on Friday night. And it's just still kind of living in his head. He's thinking about it, and it's just kind of grabbing people. So I think that's really, really cool. Then My number 4 is one I've talked about before, and that is Vast Mysterious Manor. Nothing new to say about it. I still love this game, but I took my now totally painted set up. I took it, got it on the table, we played, and unfortunately, for the first time ever, I lost! I lost! Bernie from Dead Alive Games and his stupid warlock got right in and beat me right before I was going to get out the door as the Shadow Paladin, and it's really exciting to me because I finally get to play the Shadow Paladin. That was the only character I had not played before. It is so hard. It is so fun. Just love the game, and I'm really hoping to get to play more of it with people who have played a lot, so it starts moving even faster and everyone kind of knows what everyone else is doing, because that's when that game really, really shines. Next one, my number 3, is going to reference, again, Johnny Pack that I mentioned. He's working on a fan-made expansion to a game I've talked about before called Glow. And I got to sit down and play it late night with him, with Peter Vaughn from Cardboard Alchemy, and already mentioned Original Dawn. And man, it was a cool fan-made expansion. I don't know what's ever going to happen with it. I don't know if anything will ever happen with it, but boy, it was cool. It took the same drafting of the different characters with their dice, but then you're also drafting tiles. You're taking those tiles and you're building the map as you go, and it was hard, it was crazy, and it's still being worked on and whatever, but man, it was fun. So Glow definitely comes at number 3. My number 2 is one that I got to play 3 different times, and that is Anno 1800. And you will actually get to see relatively soon my content for that, as I've finally played it enough at all the different player accounts, with the exception of solo. And this is just a dry, crunchy Euro. And I don't say that as a pejorative, but man, it is a dry Euro. I mean, it is industrialism, and you're going to be building factories and using this kind of factory. You're going to use the stuff you make at this factory to make another factory, and then you're going to use that factory and the first factory to make yet another factory. And you're going to use these factories to make people happy. And it's just very dry, and it has 50 different resources. That's right, 50. But somehow it just comes together into this really enjoyable engine that you're just juicing, and you're trying to figure out, when do I want to push the end game? Because you have total control over the end game. When someone finishes all their cards, that triggers the end game. But of course, every time you get a new worker to use all these factories, you get a new card. So it can be a kind of this long cycle that you go through. But really, really dug it, really enjoyed it, and it comes at my number 2. Now, my number 1 is one that I've talked about favorably before. I've made a whole bunch of content on it before, and that is also from Cardboard Alchemy. That is Flamecraft. I got to play with one of the kind of advanced copies, or advanced mass, I don't know, whatever it was. Peter Vaughn had one, and he let me play it with him. And it's just so much fun. And I really enjoyed it when I had it before and did a preview, and they've made small changes since then, but those small changes have made a big difference in the game. And the production is just beautiful. And I really do think that, I mean, this is a light game. Don't get me wrong. This is a light, quick Euro game that is, I don't know, half a step up from Ticket to Ride. I don't know, fight me if you don't agree with that. But it has the possibility to be a best-in-class game for this kind of really light, just above family weight game. And don't quote me on that. Don't quote me on that, because I haven't played the final version enough, right? I've played it once. But man, that is a special, special game that is just beautiful to look at. The production is off the charts insane, and it's so cute. It is so cute. But there you have it, folks. That is my best of KublaCon. As always, if you found this video useful, please like, subscribe, and share. Thank you so much for watching. Have a wonderful, wonderful day.